Man, welcome back to the Hooper's Paradise podcast, where you get your real thoughts and opinions from fans who love the game. And like usual, I'm here with my brothers, Mr. CP905, the East End and West End legend. Just accept it, man. It's time
Jamar,
for
you
you.
still you're still introducing me like
Yeah,
that,
man.
yeah?
Just accept that you're the East End and West End legend.
I'm
Just
just a
like
regular guy,
McCasey.
man.
McCasey got to accept that he's the hardest working man in show business.
Hey, I think Casey loves that nickname.
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to live up to my name.
Are we gonna drop Slim Casey and start going with showbiz?
No.
Showbiz
Casey.
Showbiz Case.
Oh, Lee coming up to games with briefcases. So.
Showbiz Case kind of goes hard. I don't know, man. I kind of go hard.
I got the contracts.
So, man, the NBA. We're gonna do a little NBA talk for everybody, just so everybody knows. Or we're gonna go over a few topics, because a lot keeps happening in the league. Every single time we turn our head, someone drops 50. Who are we adding to the 50 ball club this season?
Sadiq Bey.
Who?
Sadiq Bey.
Who that?
Man.
Where he played?
Detroit.
Detroit
They
Pistons,
still got a
man.
basketball team?
Yo, I would have never thought that man. Wait, is that more random than Terrence Ross's 50?
Yes.
You think so, right?
Yes. I gotta say it is a lot more random than because you want to know what made it random? Because it was the slowest night in the NBA this season.
There was
One game only.
It was Detroit versus who were they playing?
Orlando.
Yeah,
And
see,
that's
the
the
game
same
that
team.
nobody was watching.
Nobody looked at that.
Bro.
And you guys know I watch religious basketball. You guys know this. I watch every single basketball game like on a daily basis. I wasn't even watching that game. I just got a random notification. No, not even a notification. It was Casey hit me. Casey put in the group. Sadiq Bey dropped 50.
Yeah.
No, I was like, he had 31 in the first half, and I'm like, yeah. And then he scored his 50 with like I think Dwayne Casey was like attack, and I think that's when he got his 49, and then he went on to score his 50, and I'm like, oh, okay. All right, Sadiq.
Yo, guys are really just that talented in the league, man. Like, I really believe that after Sadiq Bey went off for 50, that anybody can go off for 50.
This is what I'm gonna say. Off the rip, Orlando needs to fire their coach. For Kyrie to drop 60 and then follow up with Sadiq Bey dropping 51 on you is unacceptable.
Well, Wendell Carter, Jalen Suggs, and the kid Okiki, they weren't playing. However, those guys were playing.
Okay.
Those guys were playing against Kyrie, and at that time, I was just like, "You guys are just gonna let Kyrie do this."
Kyrie, we accept. He's all worldly.
Yeah. Kyrie's different.
He's
Kyrie's
something
different.
that we've never seen before. So this is a little dig at all the trainers out there. Stop training your kids to try be like Kyrie. He's one of a kind. Just like teach him how to swing and do basic sweeps.
But you had like
Kyrie.
You had like Frank, the Wagner kid, and you also had Markel Fultz guarding Sadiq Bey. And Sadiq, he's an easy 6'8". And he just shooting. Man. He's just. I actually watched the game.
You watched the game?
I watched the game because I was bored. I wanted to watch something.
You're looking for Cade. That's why.
Yeah. Well, no, I knew he was. I knew he was injured, and I was just like, well, I guess he's next up. And Jeremy Grant didn't play that game either.
Yo, that's
wow.
That's you know what? Kudos to Sadiq, man. Congratulations on you. What was it? 51.
I think it's 51.
Yeah, 51 ball, man. He got added to the 50-point club this season. A long list of 50 balls this season. A long list of people on our 50-point club. Next pod, we got to have a list of who's dropped 50 this season.
That's crazy.
And we're gonna see who gets added to the list this week.
There's probably at least 7 guys.
Yeah.
Well, there was 13. I think LeBron did it twice after Sadiq. So in total, there's 13 50.
There's 13 50 balls this year?
There's 13 50 balls.
Yeah.
We got to make a list. We got to go through a list for sure.
LeBron has 2.
I got to see a list. You know what? Maybe we might do some rewatchables on some 50-point games to see which one was the most impressive.
That'll be nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
man.
that'll be fun.
We still have that Ja Morant thing we gotta do too.
Oh yeah. But I'm chilling because I'm letting Ja just continue to up his highlights a little bit. But I've been watching like
listen, I'm letting you know, man. Westbrook's highlights are far better than John
Well,
Morant's
there you
highlights.
go.
Okay, man, we
All
gonna
right,
see,
man.
man. We
All
gonna
right.
see. We gonna see. All right, so you know what? Let's stay on the topic of somewhat of Orlando Magic,
Okay.
just because they got a rookie out there in Franz Wagner. We're seeing, to me, a really good rookie class, a very very special class from what I'm seeing and where it can develop into. Um, First question I'm gonna ask y'all is, CP, who's your rookie of the year and
Oh,
why? Okay,
Jamal.
man, my bad, my bad. Let me rephrase the question, just because if you watch us, you know CP a huge Raptor fan. CP, why is Scotty Barnes the rookie of the year?
To come in as a 20-year-old and impact winning the way he has not been seen in a while. Just not only about Scotty Barnes, man. When you look at this draft class as a whole, like you look at the Michael Jordan draft class, I think it was, and
Yeah, King,
you look at the draft class with Iverson and Kobe,
Allen
and
Iverson,
you look at the draft class with LeBron and Wade and Melo,
and
and
Bosch. Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna have five guys in this draft class that I think are organizational changers.
Mhm.
And just to be able to be mentioned in one of those, man, it's good for Raptor fans. And I just think like Scotty has come into Toronto in a winning program and has just cemented himself as one of our guys going forward without Nick Nurse calling plays for him, without without the what I guess the backing of American media. He has came out and let his play do the talking, and I just love to see it. So for me, I gotta go with Scotty as rookie of the year, man.
Yeah, Scotty's been really good. I remember talking to you guys a little bit. There's been a few nights now where he's the best player on the court for the Raptors that
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Yeah.
In wins too, not even in losses or blowouts. Like, no, he's the best player on the floor for the Raptors, and we've seen him. Maybe I would give him one or two games this season where he just looked like the best player on the floor in the
in
game,
general, for
just in
sure,
Yeah.
general, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like in terms of rookie of the year, like it's gonna be a close race. I think towards the end.
It's going to come
Um,
down between Mobley and Barnes, and I think what's going to separate them because they've been so close from a statistical standpoint. What's going to separate them is the wins and losses, position seeding.
okay,
I think that whoever gets the higher seed wins rookie of the year. To me, to be honest.
Casey, who you got?
Mm, I got Barnes.
Okay,
My dog.
Yeah, Mobley's a special player. Just watching him now, and Cleveland is actually an exciting team to watch. But having a guy like Barnes, the averages with assists, him able to get a defensive rebound and go. He's able to score, and even with facing the Lakers and the Clippers, like some of these guys are just like, wow.
yeah,
I didn't think this kid had a handle. And his averages, man, like he got rookie of the month, I believe it was in February. And if he keeps at it, yeah, it's gonna be a rookie of the month between him and Mobley. Right. So I think at the end of the year, or at the end of the season, it's gonna go to Barnes, but also it also depends. Like, the standings, they're right behind each other, right? So
So I'm gonna be the one who goes rogue then, just because like I appreciate you guys Scotty Barnes pick, and this is no disrespect to Scotty Barnes because you guys know I'm super high on him. Big Raptor fan. We show our bias in ways. Um, I think the best thing that could happen to Evan Mobley in ways is Jared Allen being out, and that's gonna
yeah,
help his rookie of the year case because
yeah,
he has to step up and do even more. I've always been a big fan of Mobley from the beginning of the season. I think he's very KG like, not personality wise, but the way he affects the game on the defensive end. He's an anchor, step out, can handle it a little bit, shoot the mid range, step out and shoot the occasional three. But he's very KG ish, in my opinion, in the way he plays. And I'm excited for that kid. And I think he has a really strong case for rookie of the year just because how well Cleveland's playing. And even coming off that big win against Denver, like only supported the argument. So I think it's going to be a close race. I don't mind who wins it if it comes down to Barnes or Scotty. Barnes or Mobley,
Mobley.
but I
I mean,
think it
sure.
could go either way. Cade has been special too. Don't get me wrong. So many rookies we could
He's
throw
the
out there.
most he's the most skillful player in the
Yeah,
draft. I don't want people to get that twisted. Like he went number one for a reason, right? But it just seems to be Scotty and Mobley's year. Like everything just seems to be clicking right, going right for them. I mean, shout out both of those kids, man. They both work hard. You can't go wrong with either choice.
yeah.
But I will say, I know,
Oh,
I know,
he's
Jamar.
slowing down, so I know he's
Yeah,
about to drop
I
like a
will.
bomb or
I
something.
will say though, when this kid was healthy, and if I don't think he would have got Rookie of the Year, but to be compared to um, a guy that does triple doubles like Mr. Josh Giddey, he's been a special player too, man. And hey, man, when you think about rebounds, assists, you know, points, getting steals, impacting the game for your teammates, Josh Giddey gets a mention, man. That
So
definitely gets a mention.
do you guys have because I have a player that I always compare Josh Giddey to. I love that kid too. Casey kind of put me on Josh Giddey at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Um, like who would you guys compare Josh Giddey to if you had like a player in the league?
Right, that plays right now.
Yeah, or even who played before.
Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd, I like that.
That's what I would go with.
Who you got, Casey? Can you think of a
Um,
play? Because I got a weird one.
hmm,
Like a Jason Kidd Lonzo Ball hybrid kind of thing is how I see
Okay.
it. With a
I like
with a higher ceiling. Then like Lonzo's the floor, Jason Kidd's the ceiling. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
That
you know
makes
what?
sense.
You know what? You know who like I thought would have produced a little bit more. I think Chris Dunn. When Chris Dunn came into the league, I was just like, yeah, this kid can. He's not a scorer,
Yeah.
but he can grab rebounds and he can assist, and he's doing that now. I think for Portland, but I know a lot of guys will compare Giddy to Doncic, but he can't
That's tough.
score.
Yeah.
He can't score like him. You know what I mean? So that's not comparable. But I'm not too sure what type of player.
So
Joe Ingles maybe too, but
I'm gonna throw this one out there.
just because he's Australian.
No, I think he's a bigger Ricky Rubio.
That's a good one.
I think he's a bigger
Ooh.
Ricky Rubio.
That's a really good one.
And I think he has a higher ceiling because of his size. But their
Yeah.
play style, the way even when you watch him play, it looks very similar. Josh Giddey is a willing defender, not a great defender right now.
Mhm.
So was Rubio at this young age. They can pass at a high level. Still needs to work on his jump shot, just like Rubio had to work on his jump shot at a young age. Really good in passing lanes, like Rubio.
Mhm.
And he is showing that he can be like a leader. I just think he has a higher ceiling than Rubio just because of his size.
Yeah.
And I think he's coming into the league with a lot more tools. And as time goes on, but I think this kid's going to be special, man. I think you both agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He's an honorable mention. Like, and I think what really helped him was being drafted up to outside the top 5. I think if he goes in the top 5, there's more pressure on him to produce in a bigger stage, bigger limelight. So I think him going to Oklahoma, where there's no media, he's gonna be able to play through some mistakes. If he gets 10 turnovers one game, who's gonna know?
he's at Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna know. So basically, they're just gonna be showing you what he's doing well to highlight him as a rookie. So I think that helps him as well. Coming from the NBL over into the NBA, which is a different game, gives him chance to develop, learn the game, play, make those mistakes. He's that kid is gonna be really good, man.
Just because I like to always try and shout out a Canadian hooper whenever we can. Shout out Shea out in Oklahoma,
For sure.
doing his thing. The reason why I'm gonna shout him out because this is a stat that I found out the other day. You know, Shea has the most points in the NBA since the All-Star break.
That's crazy.
He's been going on.
They came out and showed like there's like 5-6 games in a row. He had 30+ points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm just like just to shout him out real quick. Like he's hooping over there now to OKC. But who's some other rookies? You got Wagner. Franz Wagner's tough out in Orlando. We talked about the kid out in Denver.
Highland.
Highland
Oof, yeah.
playing good basketball for Denver. Like this class is starting to look deep, right?
Mhm.
Before it just looked like top heavy, but now it's starting to look deep when you think of those guys. There's some more guys that we're probably missing off the top of our head right now.
I think Casey mentioned someone in Chicago.
Oh, Ao.
AO,
In
he's
Ao.
Chicago,
filling it
yeah,
well for
Yeah.
Lonzo.
right, right. I mean,
Um,
yeah, there's a like I said, this rookie class when in 4 years when the first round draft picks contracts are up and we look back, there's gonna be a lot of guys that's gonna be getting close to or if not max deals.
Yeah,
it's a
There's
good
gonna be
question.
a lot of guys in four. There's gonna be a lot of guys that a lot of moving around of stars who are there that don't fit timelines no more. You'll see watching about three,
yeah.
4 years, man. You're gonna see a lot of moving around because these kids are gonna be faces of organizations going forward for sure. For
Casey, what were you
sure.
about to say, man?
Jalen Green.
Ooh, yo, we forgot about Jalen
Oh
Green.
shoot!
He's been hooping a little bit lately. He's finding his groove out there in Houston. I like the kid because it looks like he cares, man, and that's
Yeah.
big. He
Yeah.
cares. He plays hard.
I just think
Obviously he's
I
gonna
think he's
have
kind of
some.
underachieving a little bit though.
Ah,
For the amount of possessions that he gets on a losing team,
team.
I think that he should be producing a little bit more. Like you should be producing a little bit more empty stats because they're not going to produce wins, right? No problem. That's not your job right now. But you got. I think you got to
Yeah,
hit. You know what I'm trying to say? I think he should be averaging more than 60 points a game.
Well, sorry, no. Well, I think the points like he scores. Yeah, the reason why we, Jamar, and I know this a lot is because of fantasy, but I can say that he should be averaging a little bit more than 3 assists or 2 rebounds. But you have a guy like Short over there, and
What's his
Kevin
usage
Porter.
rate?
Kevin
I would
Porter.
love to know his
yeah,
usage
and
rate.
Kevin Porter too.
I think the usage rate I think needs to stay down. I think at the beginning of the season he was struggling more because he was forcing the issue.
Yeah, I am.
But
Yeah.
now he's allowing to score more naturally within the offense. But I think he's a guy who is a possibility. Like this is just my guess for him that can lead the NBA in scoring one day.
In a
Because I
winning
see him.
situation.
Yeah, I see him being able to. I don't know if it's going to be a winning situation, if it's going to be a Bradley Beal situation, or he's going to be like leading the league in scoring on a top winning team. But I'm just saying, like, I think he has the capability. When I'm seeing him score, he looks like a 3-tier scorer. Like he can get it from the mid range, very athletic at the rim, and has already proven that he can shoot the NBA three.
Mhm.
So I do see him as someone like that's the ceiling for him. For me, is someone who can lead this league in scoring.
It's crazy we forgot about him.
Yeah, and Suggs, we forgot about Suggs too.
It's crazy. Like
We
that
talked
should,
about Wagner and forgot about the guy who they drafted ahead of him.
but it just shows you the depth of the draft class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We forgot the number 2 pick.
Yeah, it's a crazy class, and
For
I'm
sure.
excited to see this class like just grow, like you said, and
Yeah.
see who comes out as what. If you had to pick, let's go. MVP 10 years from now, who's gonna be the MVP of this draft?
Cade.
Kate, who you guys? Casey. Yeah,
I think Cade's the most skillful player, and he has the best. Well, Scotty too. They're both in good situations.
Yeah.
I only like this is Scotty's first year, man. I think my brother was talking to me about this, and he's just like, "What other rookie has come into this Raptor organization and hit?" From
Vince
the
Carter,
jump?
relax. Vince
No,
Carter.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The last time.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a
Vince-
while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You know
It's
what I
been a
mean?
while.
So now he's done this year. You already know he's gonna go in his bag this summer and load up that
Work on his
toolbox.
game.
You know what I mean? So
Casey, what's your expectations of Scotty next year, from a statistical standpoint?
do the same thing.
Same thing.
Consistency
At a higher
yeah,
level, though.
at a
Right?
higher level. Consistency
Yeah.
is key.
Yeah,
Sure.
do the same
Sure.
thing.
So I'm gonna be the guy
Mhm.
who it's hard for bigs, but I'm gonna go Mobley.
Mobley. I was thinking about that too.
I'm gonna go Mobley. I know it's hard for bigs to kind of be the star sometimes, but we're seeing bigs come back in the league with Joel, Jokic, so many talented bigs. in the NBA right now,
But
playing at a high
I
level.
think
Giannis.
the game changes, Jamar, because the game's changing. Sorry, because you're seeing, like we spoke about off camera, you guys got guys like Evan Mobley getting the ball off the rim and initiating your offense.
Yeah, and that's why I think he has a chance. Just because usually when bigs come into the league, where they struggle is the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
He dominates that end of the floor, and he gets so many like quick buckets just around the rim. He's already proven he can step out, hit a mid range. Already proven he can step out and make a three. Has a little handle. Underrated passer. Very underrated passer. So I'm gonna take him as my pick as the possible MVP of this draft 10 years from now.
Listen, man, you can't. None of those answers are wrong.
Yeah, no
None
answers
of the
wrong
answers are
because
wrong, man.
I was gonna go crazy and say Josh Giddey, but
But you
I had
wouldn't
to
be
tell
wrong.
myself relax.
You wouldn't be wrong either, man. And what I learned is like especially from watching like the Raptors, if when you take a kid and their defense coming into the NBA is ahead of their offense, you got a basketball player.
Yeah.
You got a basketball player for sure because
like
you can
that.
teach them everything else.
Okay, so the rookie class this year is legit. It's special.
Sure.
We like it. We argued about this for a while, so I love that we get to bring this joint to camera right now. While playing this week, unfortunately, Steph Curry's out indefinitely.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, they're saying.
Yeah, they came out now. When it first happened, it was indefinitely. They don't like to put time.
Okay, now they're saying 2 weeks.
weeks.
That's good to hear.
2
That
weeks.
Steph is getting better. It's a sprained ligament in the left foot. It happened on a play with Marcus Smart before we even showed the play. Actually, let's show the play first.
Let's show the clip.
Let's show the clip off the rip. Let's see.
For people who are not watching on YouTube, what we're seeing right now is a high screen and roll with Draymond Green. The ball, Klay Thompson tips the ball. Steph Curry gets to the ball first.
Oh, here we go.
And then Marcus Smart decides to dive through Stephen Curry's left leg to get to the ball. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're a coach, you're gonna tell your guys dive for the ball, get on the ground. You should be the first one on the ground. I understand that perspective and everything. But what I'm trying to explain to Jamar is that amateur and college are very different. You can't be diving at people's ankles and at people's knees for loose balls in the second quarter with 4 minutes left to go when that loose ball is not going to impact winning on any level. You now injured. I understand why Steve Kerr was losing it like that on Marcus Smart, because you've now injured my top athlete with your reckless diving.
I like that last angle because it really, really shows that he went for the ball.
No,
so
Jamar,
here's the first question.
I'm not saying he didn't go for the ball.
Okay, so here's the first question.
All right,
was it a dirty play?
No, it was unnecessary.
Okay, we got a Casey. Dirty play?
No, it's a hustle play.
So we got unnecessary and we got hustle. I see it as a hustle play, and it's just unfortunate that Steph got hurt in the process of a good basketball play. I think he deliberately went for the basketball and just old school, not even old school, like anywhere in the world, a coach would tell you first one to the loose ball. And I think literally Marcus Smart dove for a loose ball that was clearly in bounds, clearly tried to keep a possession alive. And I thought it was just a very good basketball play. And I'm going to disagree and say that a play in the second quarter in the NBA can affect the game because possessions matter.
Not game 70.
Well, when you're fighting for a playoff
are just trying to get to the playoff. Boston's not fighting for a playoff spot.
I think they are. I think they're fighting for home court advantage.
They're not.
Man, they've been on a roll, man. So they're trying to catch Philadelphia for that third place, man.
Yeah, I think they're fighting for home court advantage right now.
Yeah, no problem. But saving a loose ball from going out of bounds with 4 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the second quarter is not gonna win you a basketball game.
Yeah,
what it can do is injure a player if you're diving through his legs to get the ball. That's unacceptable.
Great play. 10 times out of 10, I want Marcus Smart to do that. Casey, what you think?
You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying, Jamar, if you go to the gym and somebody dives at your legs and bends your ankle, you're gonna get upset. You're gonna get up and have something to say. So you can't say that that's a good play if you would react.
But what we agreed on is he was diving for the ball.
He
You
wasn't
said you're
diving
not
for the ball.
denying that he wasn't diving for the basketball. It just so happens that he landed on his leg while diving for the ball.
But when you're diving headfirst for something, right? You don't just dive headfirst. You got to look at your surroundings.
No, he was going with his arms out. What do you mean head first? This is not rugby.
No. Okay, look. If we pull back up the video, right, we're gonna see.
I'll pull it back up.
We'll see that Marcus Smart's hand is very far past the ball.
This is, you want to know what I think is the best angle?
We're gonna see Marcus Smart
slow down angle.
So you're saying he's rolling with his elbows? What?
Reaches with the arm first.
I'm saying look where his hand is. I'm saying he's diving with his body so that Stephen Curry doesn't get to the ball. That's a reckless play. If you're diving directly for the ball, no. Look at the angle. He turned his body into.
He showed arm first and tried to secure the basketball.
Yeah, because your arm is significantly longer than your head. So yeah, you're. But when you're telling me that your chest or your armpit is on top of the basketball and you're rolling onto somebody's leg, you're not diving.
Roll.
What?
He didn't roll.
Of course he rolled.
If he wanted to go and injure him, he would actually slide more into his actual ankle.
No, nobody's just gonna purposely go and injure somebody, right? But there's reckless plays that you should and shouldn't be making in the NBA. And for somebody like Marcus Smart, who has a trend and pattern of being a reckless basketball player, you are going to take a blowback if you're injuring a multi-billion-dollar athlete.
You sound like Stephen A. Man.
I'm just hey man, I'm just saying, Casey, man, you can't. That's reckless.
Okay,
that's reckless.
How does this 2 weeks? Now that we're hearing that it's 2 weeks, how does this affect the Warriors?
It greatly affects the Warriors. You're taking what? How much points a game does he average? 28, 27? You're taking 27 points per game out the lineup. How much does he average? How do you replace that?
Well, this is what I'm gonna say.
So now you have a surging Memphis who's now going to probably stay in second, right?
Told you.
You did say that. You called that a long time ago, right? You have a surging Memphis who's going to stay in second now, right? Now I don't know what the matchup is or how this impacts the playoff seedings. We'll get into that. But now this could make Golden State's, who they match up with, Denver? Oh no, Denver don't stand a chance. But they don't. But you never want to see someone who has a horrible trend and pattern of being reckless just continue to be reckless on the court. That's not a safe dive. It's not a good dive. You didn't dive for the ball. You dove through Steph to get to the ball. There's a difference.
Well, go ahead, Casey. Go ahead.
What do you mean a dive through?
Yeah, Casey, he dove through his leg.
Oh, if you've seen it at the end, that's where his lower back actually hits Steph's ankle.
No, Casey. No, Casey. If you pull back up the video again, right?
I'm not pulling back up this video.
Now you're telling me he actually went through him.
I want us to got to the ball first.
Steph would have been in the stands.
Steph got to. No, he would not, Casey. Exactly what would have happened to him. He would have rolled his ankle over and strained his ligament, which is exactly what happened.
I think I'm agreeing with Casey that I think it was a good basketball play, and it's unfortunate that Steph got hurt in the process, because if Steph doesn't get hurt, we're clapping. Great hustle, Marcus Smart. I'm still clapping, saying great hustle, Marcus Smart.
Hey, kids,
Steph got hurt though.
Kids, if you're watching this, man, there's nothing wrong with diving for a loose ball. There's nothing wrong with being the first one to the ball and have playing with that type of intensity all game long, right? But there's a way that you do it. If someone's ankles or knees are in the vicinity, you don't dive shoulder first. If Marcus Smart dove for the ball, his hands, his mitts would have been on the ball, not his armpit.
They were.
So when is the best time?
No, it was not. No, it was not.
Tell the kids when is the best time.
Armpit went on the ball, and then he curled it in. And
I like Casey's question. Casey, ask him the question again.
Tell the kids when is the best time to go and dive. Not
the best time. For kids playing amateur college, you dive at every possession counts because there's always eyes on you. So you play as hard and you dive and you do what you got to do to get to where you got to get to. No problem.
Casey, I can't wait because we all know how big of a Raptor fan CP is. I can't wait until Scotty Barnes or OG or Delano does not dive for a loose ball.
Jamar, I'm not going to say nothing if they don't dive for a loose ball in the second quarter. If they're not diving for a loose ball when the game is on the line, I will have an issue with that.
Hey, then I'm from a different era where every single quarter matters the same.
Not in the NBA,
Because
Jamar. Come on.
if you go on a
You know better than that.
15-0 run in the
You know better
second
than that.
quarter,
Yeah.
it affects your fourth quarter.
But what happens if you go on a 15-0 run in the third quarter?
What it affects the fourth quarter.
We're back to 0-0. So
that's the point.
There's so many possessions in the NBA game.
But what did you just have to do? You just had to play up. You had to go on a run. If you didn't go on a run, that's game.
Jamar, basketball is a game of runs.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying every run matters. Would you agree?
No problem. Yeah.
So how do runs happen? Possessions.
Yeah, no problem.
So then every possession matters.
Not in the second quarter of game 70. Not in the second quarter.
Every possession matters in a basketball game.
Not in the second quarter of game 70. That's not doing nothing for nobody. You're just trying to hurt people.
All right. In terms of the Warriors, Casey, how does this affect them? Does this change things for them in their championship run? Because now we know it's 2 weeks.
Steph Curry gets rest.
No, he don't. No,
I like the way you looked at that one.
Steph Curry gets rest, man. You need Klay Thompson to get himself together. You have Draymond coming back, as CP said. That's your point guard. You know, Steph is that combo guard, but he's the main guy handling the ball. But it just gets the team together. So when Steph does come back from his 2-week rest, he's able to go forth in the playoffs.
What's their record in those 2 weeks?
Maybe 500.
500? What you guys?
Yeah, depending on who they have.
I'm not sure who they're matched up against, right? But
just in general,
just in general, ballpark figure. In 10 games, I could see them maybe going 6-4, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, I got to be the guy. I hate being the guy, but we give a lot of Canadians a lot of love on this channel and a lot of love on this podcast. It's time for Andrew Wiggins to step up. And he needs to step up in this absence.
He's been struggling a little bit.
Yeah, he really needs to step up in the absence. I think I understand the struggle with Klay coming into the offense. Them losing Draymond, which is a big part of their offense and gets them a lot of looks, but it's time for him to step up so we don't look like idiots that we had him as an all-star no matter what.
He hasn't played in a couple games.
He was an all-star no matter what. Don't get it twisted, Jamar.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He has to I just want him to play at that level, and I know he can. I'm a strong believer, and he is well deserving of his all-star ballot this year.
He's back tomorrow.
Yeah. I want to see Wiggins step up and start playing some good basketball again, which I know he can.
Hey, shout out Andrew Wiggins, man. We believe.
Yeah, shout out Wiggins, man.
We know you can
keep hooping, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
A man who Wiggins loves to play against. I always feel like this is like Wiggins, this is like his game. He always circles on the calendar. Does anybody know what game Wiggins always circles on the calendar?
Minnesota.
Nah, I think it's when he plays LeBron.
He does have good games.
Yeah. And I only say that because, to add, remember, I hate going into the GOAT conversation, but to add to LeBron James's legacy, he's officially 19 points away from Karl Malone to being second all time on the scoring list.
I mean, it just speaks to his longevity. It speaks to the luck he has had. I don't care what people take. It takes luck to be able to play that long in the NBA, to be able to not have a significant injury where it could derail your career, where you see so many guys go through those type of things. Star athletes, look at Derrick Rose, for example. But it just speaks to his longevity. It speaks to how good he really is to score 37, how much ever 1,000 points in it's just mind blowing. It adds to his GOAT debate from a number standpoint, because he's not going to be able to catch Jordan from a championship standpoint. So you got to try and go the statistic route. So it just adds to him 30, 10, and 10. He has a triple-double in for a career.
Yeah,
that shit's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, bro. It speaks to his work ethic, his longevity, and his luck. Good for him.
I actually think this is going to be LeBron's most impressive stat, just because if he ends up leading the NBA in all-time scoring and has never, ever been seen as like a top 5 scorer in the league, like no one ever talks about him like that, it's damn near impressive. And I know he talked about it recently where he kind of took it personal. Like, I'm never brought up with the top scorers, but I'm a finish like
Yeah,
my
number
time
one.
in the league is number one scorer of all time. And the other thing I wanted to bring up because it plays point to your longevity and like and having some luck. Karl Malone is second. That's pretty like that's I always found that just to be random. Like Karl Malone is second all time in
But
scoring.
that, you gotta credit John Stockton for a lot of those though, right?
Yeah, that's Stockton to
Yeah.
Malone, the
Yeah, you
mailman.
gotta
Shout out to
credit a lot
mailman.
of
But
those.
like I still think it's random. Like Karl Malone is with all these great scores that we've seen over time, and Karl Malone was another legitimate low post, mid range
Yo,
scorer.
Jamar, it's only random because the man never won a ring.
Yeah.
If Karl Malone won a ring, holy shit, he would be mentioned up there with the greats for sure. Like what?
Well,
Yeah.
you still mentioned up there with the greats, but then
But
I
there's an
think there's more of a
asterisk. It's like
conversation with like
it's like
him and Tim
Barkley. It's an
Duncan, maybe.
asterisk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
him
yeah.
and Tim Duncan maybe have more of a
One and
conversation
two.
if he has a
You
ring
know,
or two.
1A, 1B for
Yeah.
sure. But he would. But that tandem wasn't no joke. Stockton and Malone. They just ran into Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Yeah.
Well, like again, Bron, this is a crazy GOAT kind of stat. Like
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to say he's not the greatest of all time if he when he passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and like you're the number one scorer in NBA history and you mention it, nobody talks about you as the number one scorer, but they talk about you as the best facilitator. They talk about you as Magic Johnson like 2.0. But you're
yeah.
leading the league in total points per game. He already leads the league in total playoff points in NBA history. You know what I'm trying to say?
But if Jordan, if there weren't so much politics going on back in the '90s, late '90s, I'm pretty sure LeBron would not be touching any sort of numbers.
I mean,
Yo,
score
see,
wise.
no, don't bring Jordan into this because then we gonna talk about.
Yeah.
We're trying to stay away from the GOAT talk.
You can say that. You can if you're talking about like from a scoring standpoint, right? You could say that about Wilt Chamberlain too. That man said in an interview before he passed away that if he knew that being the leading scorer in NBA history would have meant as much as it would have meant, he would have pushed that shit way out.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody would have been able to catch that.
Facts.
Yeah.
That man would have
fact
scored
that-
50,000 points in the NBA. No, ain't nobody would have. What?
Yeah, but
Man.
So it's like,
whatever Jordan's doing, it would reflect in championships at the end of the day.
Hey man, all right.
So-
Before we move along, because I know we dabble into the GOAT talk a lot. Whenever we talk about LeBron and Jordan, I'm gonna just tell you what I see as like the GOAT when I think of the GOAT. I think of whoever I saw play at their highest peak, and how good was that person at their highest peak?
we're gonna have to get into an entire pod for this.
Yeah,
Jamar, because
personally, that's just how I see it. I'm not going to tell you who I think the GOAT is. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, when I think of GOAT, I think of the person at their highest peak and what did that look like, and that's just how I see the GOAT.
we'll get into that. We'll for sure get into that. You know.
This is a quick one because we I feel like we talk about this too much, and like it's getting kind of ridiculous that Ben Simmonds hasn't played basketball yet.
What is going on with him?
I'm gonna go to BeCasey because he get the fantasy updates.
well, first you're hearing Ben Simmonds. I feel like a reporter here. First, you're hearing Ben Simmonds is gonna play when he gets traded. Then he has to ramp up, his workouts. Then you hear that he may have a chance to play at the end of the season. Then you hear that, they're skeptical about his back and, we don't know when he's going to come back. And then Nash goes, yeah, well, we don't know what's going on. There's a little setback. So, for me now, like, I don't know what's going to happen. He comes into playoffs and it's just like, all right, guys, let's figure it out. Kyrie and Durant, they know what to do. But in terms of Simmons, like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And I hope he can fix, or the doctors or the therapists.
You know what it sounds like to me? Casey, we don't play ball for a long time and our lower back start to hurt.
Yeah. Well, they say it is a pinched nerve, so like literally that's what happens. Like,
hey, all joking aside,
though,
when you're talking about back injuries and those type of things, I mean, look at Dwight Howard. Though it's difficult, guys don't come back the same.
Yeah.
Guys don't come back the same. So I hope it doesn't affect him the way that we may think it will.
Yeah, and I just want to see that three get on the floor together, Kyrie,
Yeah.
Ben, and KD, just because I think it's a beautiful fit.
Yeah, for sure.
And I
For
just
sure.
want to see it happen. I want to see a Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons pick and roll, a KD, Ben Simmons pick and roll. I want to see Ben Simmons pushing the ball and thinking of Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Kevin Durant on the wings. Like I really just need to see it, and I want to see him get well. So get well, Ben Simmons, because it's also going to boost the Eastern Conference playoffs.
I
Because
think
that is probably going to be the scariest eighth seed of all time if they're
I think
healthy.
they, but I don't think they should. I think just shut it down for the season. Shut it down for the season.
You
Let
can't.
let what like next year when next year comes, the mandate should be lifted by then. So you have Kyrie back full time. You have a healthy Ben Simmons, and you got KD fresh off of a 5-year deal. I think
Yeah, but
I don't think you rushed Ben Simmons back. I really don't. I
KD's
really don't.
injury history,
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
and KD being the age that he's at, and Kyrie, he's not actually under contract like that. He'll probably like he's not under
Come
contract
on,
because they
Jamar,
haven't
man.
sent him a long term deal yet. Yeah, you're saying come on, Jamar, but like we don't know if the vaccine mandate's gonna get lifted
Come
next
on,
year.
Jamar. Whether come on, Jamar. Come on.
We we
He's
just
not leaving Brooklyn.
but as of right now, we just don't know. I never said anything about Kyrie leaving Brooklyn, but Brooklyn might leave Kyrie.
Nah, man, that's not. Come on, stop playing, Jamar, man.
Hey man, if I can't have a continuous, because I don't know, I'm going based off of what right now, and based off of right now, as much as and everybody knows this about me, Kyrie's one of my favorite players, but he's also very unreliable in ways
For sure, 100%.
when it comes to injury history, when it comes to like just him taking off for mental health reasons,
Being
which I'm
there.
never going to
Yeah.
disrespect, because if you need time off from your job, take time off from your job. But with him being so unreliable and him not being around, are you willing as an organization to just give him a long-term deal? Just
Well, yeah,
comfortably?
no, I wouldn't give present him with a 5-year deal, but can you give him a 3 or 4 year max? For
I don't
sure,
know.
for
I don't know.
sure,
I don't know right now.
for sure. Come on, Jamar. From us. Come on, Jamar. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. From a skill and talent standpoint,
Come on, Jamar, man.
he's probably worth 50 mil a year easily.
Yeah. So you got to. It's the whole new. Brooklyn's not gonna let Kyrie be a part-time player. They if Kyrie wasn't Kyrie, if it was anybody else outside of KD and Kyrie, do you think they allow Brooklyn allows him to play?
No, but that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm just worried about. Like as an organization, I'm thinking from the business side of things. Do I want to invest in someone who may not possibly, like, say if they never change this?
Yep. No, it's gonna change. If they change it in Canada,
But they haven't changed it yet, and there's no reason why it has not been changed yet.
it changed.
So that's
Monday.
why I'm just like I'm just going based off of right now. I can't see into the future. That's why I'm saying like off of right now, it's kind of hard for me to like think about giving Kyrie a long-term deal.
No, you're crazy, Jamar. That's Kyrie Irving.
I feel you.
That man just scored 60 points in 3 quarters.
Yes,
taking care of his
and
body.
then didn't play for and then is not going to play for another week and a half.
Yeah, but that's not his fault.
I know. I get that.
Well,
It's not his fault. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is
How
that
would I
like,
be as an organization to not pay a player, a once in a generational player like Kyrie Irving his money because of something that's out of his control?
that's business, Casey, tell him that's business, baby.
No, that's not business.
This is Spanish show business.
Not for
It's
a
hard
man
to
like
pay.
Kyrie
It's hard to
Irving.
pay a client who's not there. It's hard to pay
If you're
someone to work who's not there.
talking about Blake Griffin or someone on the end of the bench, Bobby Brown or someone at the end of the bench, Cam Thomas, hey, no problem. Yeah, that may be business, but when you're dealing with there's a certain echelon of guys that in the NBA that make their own decisions. Kyrie's in that echelon. You're not paying Kyrie because he didn't get a vaccine or because he has a bad injury history. Then what the hell is Anthony Davis doing with a 5-year deal?
He came off a championship.
Yeah, but
He just
Kyrie's
It's a
been winning a
little bit
ring.
different. He came off a chip.
Kyrie's been winning.
He played those games. Kyrie's not playing, and right now his team's fighting to get into the playoffs. And he's
Yeah, but
like I'm
he's
saying,
not
like
playing
I
because of
agree
injury.
with you. Kyrie is
Yeah.
worth every single last cent. I am not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying from a business standpoint, if I was an owner, it's hard for me until I see proof that he is eligible to play. It is hard for me to give him a long-term deal,
You're
in my
crazy.
opinion.
Kyrie, even if Kyrie part time, he getting a long term deal. You're you're
I don't know,
crazy.
Casey. You giving him a long-term deal?
Do you see Kyrie?
Yeah, I see him.
Oh,
Like I
my
said,
God,
he's worth
man.
$50 million a year. Casey, you giving him a long-term deal?
That's I have to talk to KD.
Yeah. See,
I have to
What do you
talk
think,
to
bro,
KD.
like-
what do you think Katie's gonna say?
yeah.
Well, KD will agree, but at that point, it's just like I know KD was frustrated in the beginning of the season. He must have been frustrated, right?
this
Because
is
that could have
hard.
changed the standings, right? But now this works in their favor because they're in 8th, right?
It
they
doesn't
play
matter
away
where,
games.
if Brooklyn could be in 8th or 1st. It doesn't matter if they have a full roster. There's nobody
But-
in the East that's beating them.
They will never have a full roster at home. That's the point.
But if they play away,
Jamar,
it's
the
still an
vaccine
advantage.
mandate gonna change. I mean, the mask mandate in New York gonna change. Vaccine mandate.
It's not a, but you realize what the mandate is. That's what makes it stupid. That's why it's like the fact that it hasn't changed is my concern. Because the mandate is literally just for employees.
Mhm.
So like the fact that it hasn't changed already has me concerned. And the reason why I wouldn't give him the long-term deal until I see proof that he is eligible to play full time. Because that's just me, business wise. I'm saying as
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying from a
basketball
business
player,
standpoint.
give him 60 million a year. Kyrie's that talented. He's proven he's that legit. But when I have him for 2 straight games and then I don't see him for 5, that's tough for me.
What's the fine looking like?
The fine is light, but they won't play it because they won't pay that because that's getting into like politics, and you don't want to mess with politics as a business. Yeah. Yeah, that situation's crucial, and it really messes up the playoff standings because if you're the Miami Heat or who's number 2 in the East right now?
Number 2 in the East right now, if I'm not mistaken, is the Milwaukee Bucks. Wow,
that's
where did
rough.
they come from?
If you gotta play those guys,
where did they come from?
If you gotta play those guys in the first round, Milwaukee or Miami, like that's just unfortunate, man.
Yeah, I hear you, Jamar. I know what you're saying, and I understand from the perspective of this year, but like you said, you don't know what the future holds. So
that's how I'm going based off of it. I'm going based off of right now.
Yeah, no, I choose just based on if I was a GM and I was in this situation, I'm paying Kyrie.
He can get
you're talking.
He get a 1+1 from me.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a 5-year deal. It wouldn't be a 5-year deal. But if you're giving him a 1+1, it's gonna be a player option. His agent's not gonna. It's gonna be a player option.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother. Let me hook you up with a sided tray, Kai. Man. The last thing I kind of want to talk about, just so we can kind of run through it. We talked about it a little bit with these 50 balls and how like the league's been on fire and how talented the NBA is. And we talked that like Sadiq Bey is probably the most randomest 50 ball. Now I'm going to ask you to guess. Who do you think drops the next 50 in the league?
Next 50 in the league, I'm going with Scotty Barnes.
Oh, God.
What a way to end a pod, yo. Casey, can you give me an answer, brother? What a way to end a pod, yo.
Say Luka.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's
a good one, Casey. That's a good one. Jason Tatum already got to 50, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna say Bron does it
again.
Next game. He goes out with a bang for his
You know who I'm going to go with
to pass second all time. He goes out with a bang.
he that's tonight, against
that's tonight. LeBron's dropping 50 tonight.
The next man to score 50 outside of Scotty Barnes is going to be Joel Embiid.
Okay,
I feel like Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards out of nowhere will come and be like, "All right, I'm here."
Yeah, Anthony
I
Edwards.
like
Anthony Edwards is not a bad
everyone's
pick
picks
either.
right now. Everyone's picks are fair.
Because any man there can
Okay,
go off for 50.
man, it was fun. This was lavish. Steph Curry, get well. Not a dirty play. Just to
Hey,
sum up
Marcus
the
Smart, stop hurting guys, man.
we're summing up the pod. We're summing up the pod. Steph Curry, get well.
Marcus Smart, stop hurting
Keep
guys.
hustling
please,
out there,
man.
Marcus Smart.
Stop being reckless, yo.
Steve, keep hustling. Keep making great basketball plays, Marcus.
Stop being
Smart,
reckless, man.
You
Make
can
good
play
plays,
on my
but don't be
team.
reckless.
Hey, if Raptors got some money, we want you, baby.
Oh, wait, what? Marcus, yo, we don't want nobody from Boston. Raptor fans know that. We're not fans of Boston players. We beefing with Boston players. No, sorry.
Let
You can keep
me
Marcus Smart.
find out you're turning down Jason Tatum walking into the Raptors. Let me find out you're turning down Jaylen Brown or Robert Williams walking to be in Toronto.
Nah, them three can come true. But the rest, you know, and it depends who we're giving up to.
Man, anything else y'all got for today, man?
Hey, everybody, check the ticker below. Twitter, IG. Please follow, subscribe, like, comment, download. What else, Jamar? What else they got to do? Watch.
Nah, man.
Listen.
We appreciate all the love. We surpassed 100 downloads, man, and stuff's been going smooth, man. We appreciate all the love, all the support.
For sure.
Hey,
that's a time where we should be like, man.
I need to get the soundboard. I gotta get the soundboard.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So we got a new nickname for Casey, Showbiz Case.
Hey, I'm changing his name on my phone right now.
Showbiz Case. Long hair don't care. He out here growing out. Casey out here growing out his hair, man. This is just wonderful to see, man. That hair looking healthy. That man is healthy right now. That man is healthy.
I got the sponge.
I'm out. Jamar, end the podcast. Jamar, end it. Hey, everybody,
All right, man.
like, I'm out.
Love.
I'm out.